Kaya Wanju, Chancellor, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, members of the staff of the university, and of course, most importantly, graduands for tonight, and your families, your friends, and your partners. Some 50 years ago, I sat in this very hall doing exams. 50 years seems like a lifetime in some ways. And let me contrast 1970, when I commenced, with around 2018, when many of you would have commenced your degree. In 1970, the global population was 3.6 billion. In 2018, it was 7.61 billion. Australia's population was 12.2 million. In 1970, around 24.3 billion, 3 million, billions and millions, yeah, easy to get, aren't they? Around 24 million in 2018. But of course, those 50 years have seen globally an extraordinary increase in per capita income in so many countries. It's come at a cost, of course. We have around 65% of less wildlife in the world now. Biodiversity is nothing like it was, and these are enormous challenges confronting the globe today. Of course, in 1970, this university was the only university in Western Australia. 2018, there are 5, but there's many others that you could study and get an online degree with. Of course, UWA in 1970 had 7,752 students, of which 606 were international. 2018, 25,952 students, 6,151 international students. An enormous transformation. But of course, in 1970, it was a very different world as a student here. There was no HEX, there was no internet, there was no Google. I'm not sure the word online existed. There was a queue for the photocopier, but there was none of the technology that you as students have accessed and used today. Of course, the campus had a very different feel. It was the time of the anti-Vietnam demonstrations, the anti-apartheid demonstrations, the clamour for a relaxation of censorship laws in Australia. A very, very different period. And of course, in that, there was the period where we were starting to embrace questions of Indigenous Australians. But in 1970, there was no land rights, there was no Mabo, there was no apology to the stolen generation. And yet I, as someone who grew up in a small country town, was acutely aware of the discrimination between the privilege that I had and those folk, Australians, the first Australians, who lived on reserves on the edge of town. Well, that was 1970 compared to 2018. And what, therefore, can I say to you as graduands tonight? Well, perhaps 5 thoughts. Authenticity. Sometimes it's a long while working out who you are and what you stand for, but above all, be authentic, or know thyself. Secondly, think of change not as something that happens every now and again, but to me, change is the new constant. Seek it out, embrace it, and relish it. Thirdly, earn and give. What do I mean by that? As graduates, you will earn in your lifetime significantly more than those Australians and those people from other countries who actually don't have a degree. You will be very significant income earners in your lifetime. And just maybe along the way, you'll be in a position to give back. Of all the things I've done, and I'm still doing, the creation with my wife, Caroline, as a Centre for Stories, as a not-for-profit in the heart of Perth, is the best thing that I've ever done. Fourthly, stay connected. I don't mean to Wi-Fi or online, to connect it to a sense of place. This place, those friends that you've made through your studies, because sitting right next to you now, trust me, will be someone who will emerge later in life, perhaps in an entirely different role and a different discipline. And finally, continuously engage in lifelong learning. In other words, continuously seek wisdom. So congratulations to you all. Enjoy the evening, but above all, thrive in your personal and professional life in the years ahead, knowing that UWA has been a great experience for you. Thank you.